Hello and welcome to the preview show as we prepare to take on Oldham Athletic. Here is the thoughts from the manager.
Oldham on Saturday, what's the approach to it?
Like any game really, we've got to make sure we put in a good display. We know it's going to be a tough game. We actually went there and didn't put on a performance that we actually really wanted. So we owe them a good performance and we owe ourselves a good performance. So this week, it's been really good in training, real positive vibes. No sort of down faces. It's been really good. It's been really good. So the boys need to take that into the next two games now because they're big games. We want to leave a mark on them. We want to finish the season really strongly and give everyone a good smile towards the back end of the season. And our performances have been pretty sound. Really disappointed with the Barnet game. With the decisions in there, but that's something we can't control. So we need to take full advantage of this week, prep for Oldham, which we will do, and for Bromley, because we won't have a training session in between, and just make sure we put on a real energised display.
But there's no such thing as a dead rubber in football. No. Both those teams, Oldham can still reach the playoffs, and Bromley are pushing for where they're positioned within that. No such thing as a game you can just take your foot off the pedal.
No, 100%. If you do, you get beat by those clubs because they're strong. They're big clubs. Oldham's a massive club, big history. Bromley have been at the top of the league all season and we had a good game at their place. But it's important that we focus on ourselves. We're playing at home on our patch. We can play our brand of football on our pitch in front of our fans. So that's really important. We set a positive message going into those next two games.
With well, I can ask this because I'm the new boy. You've had injuries all season, players out missing and whatever. Just for the people like me who haven't heard you say this before, the influence, the players that you missed for a lot of the season, it could have been a very different story, I think.
Yeah, I think deep down we know that. It's not something that we want to lean on as an excuse. We know that just being in the league is difficult as it is. If we had a fully fit squad all season, might be a different message. It might be we tried, but we fell short. But I don't think we'd ever know because of the injuries we had, and I think that's the frustration that we all feel, fans as well. We haven't seen probably our real starting 11 25, 30 games. I just think of sort of the midfield, Fleety, Ashby and Zach, I think they've played about an hour together, maximum all season. That tells a story. We've had boys missing in real key parts of the season. Bromley away was one that stands out. We looked in the stand and I think there was 9 faces that would have started that game. And I think that was a real tough moment to accept. But the boys on the day, the boys who filled in, done really well. And I thought we could have got something out of the game. So it's been a bit disjointed in terms of the injuries and team selections and trying to keep a consistent squad together. We've had a lot of faces come in and out to help us and to fill gaps. But you can't predict this at the start of the season to have this amount of injuries and not feel it. We're not, the biggest club with the biggest resources, so we've got to make sure we use what we can, and to see those sort of 8-9 faces in the stands rather than on the pitch or the bench it's a tough one to take, but we can't control it. It's human. You get injuries and it is what it is.
I genuinely believe the whole club will benefit from the experience of being in that league, and the aim has to be to get back to this league. Will you benefit from the experience this season personally?
Yeah, I've learned a lot about the players, myself, staff. I've learned on the pitch about consistency, the level of consistency you need to perform at the National League. There's no doubt we've got talent, there's no doubt we've got really good players. But I think consistently, I don't think we've performed back-to-back games as well as we probably should have. And I think you can compare every team and every player in the league to our boys, and we're not a million miles away. But the top boys at the top of the league are consistent every single week, and they churn out 7 and 8 out of 10s each week, and I think that's really important. But I think that's on the pitch. Off the pitch, we've learned that there's some big clubs. There's big clubs, the structures, the stadiums, the finances, the budgets behind every club and squad, the depth of squad, the quality of player they can attract. We've learned a lot about off the pitch stuff. And really sort of food for thought for us going forward about how we get there. We have to be creative, we have to do it in our time and not rush it and do it poorly. We need to do it properly if we're going to do something. But definitely key areas off the pitch that we need to think about moving forward, because it's a strong division, and we've learned on the pitch and off the field that you need a bit more than just being that part-time team to compete. You need to do a little bit more behind the scenes, off the pitch, on the pitch. and I think we've got a good, clear idea of where we need to go to get back there.
Oldham on Saturday. I mean, a few years ago, the distance between the two clubs couldn't have been greater, but a great occasion for the club and a great occasion for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like, although, you know, with what's gone on at the club, we're still excited to play these last 3 games, and yeah, we're going to do our best to get the 3 points.
I mean, you've done that on the pitch, haven't you? I mean, you haven't stopped running. What do you put that down to?
I feel like every week, every player, they want to win. So there's been a lot of games, of course, where we've gone behind, but we want to try and win every game we can. And although we haven't, it's not going to make us stop running for, you know, the club, for the gaffer. So yeah, we just always want to keep going.
Oldham, one of the bigger teams in the division. Does that make the game? Well, does that make you more excited for that, or does it not really have an influence?
Yeah, of course, I'd say we're excited, but we're all excited for every game. Obviously, it's a new league, and yeah, every game's a big one to us. So we're just going to do our best to try and get the 3 points.
And obviously, our season, well, it's not over for us because we want to pick up as many points as possible in these last 3. But for them, they're going for the playoffs. It's a big game for them as well. A little bit more riding on it for them, you could argue. Does that make you a little bit more up for it, that we could perhaps spoil their party, if you like?
Well, yeah, we're up for every game, but we want to try and get the most points we can every game. So if that means we stop them from getting promotion, we stop them, unfortunately.
Last time out, 4-0, wasn't a very memorable day for us. Is that giving you a bit of more of an incentive to, you know, get back at them on Saturday?
Yeah, of course. Like, it's been, you know, quite a difficult season. Every single game has been difficult, but like, obviously the last game was hard, and we're just going to go into this one, you know, fresh, and we're going to do our best to win the game.
And as well, again, full-timers against the part-timers, like pretty much every game. All so much so is that this week you've been helping out at the club, but not quite in a football capacity, on our multi-sport camp. Sorry, how have you found that?
It's been a bit draining, but no, it's been fun. I'm not gonna lie. I've been, you know, learning from like Jordan Piper, James Gilmore. There's been a few coaches just helping me out with, because I've been with the younger boys, and then I've also been with the older boys, and it's just good experience really. Like, doing something away from football, and it could also be seen as a backup just in case anything goes wrong at football. So yeah, it's been good at the camp.
Is that something you enjoy doing, coaching?
Yeah, like before, I wasn't really into it, but then these camps the last few weeks, like, I've kind of grown into it. Like, at the start I was a bit quiet and stuff, but I've grown in confidence, and it's quite enjoyable helping the kids out just get better at football, and at the end of the day, just having fun really. So sorry to interrupt you, but as well, going through it, if you look at your career, if you like, you exemplify everything about Oxford City in a way. You came through the youth ranks here, and you went through the Velocity College course, you went through the under-23s, made your first team debut, you're helping out behind the scenes with the community aspect. Really is a community club, and that you kind of exemplify that. You know, what is it like to be involved with, never mind playing, but be involved with Oxford City? Yeah, this is a really good club for the youth, as like you said, I was through the Velocity program, and there's definitely like a pathway to get through the first team, and like it doesn't ignore the education side of things as well, as you can do the education here. And yeah, it's just a really good club. All the people are good here, the fans are good, the kids we bring in are all good, so yeah, it's just really enjoyable to be here, to be fair.
Right. Last time I told you off because you did the intro bit right at the start. Now you've taken my seat.
Yeah, and I've done the intro again as well, so it's not really...
I can see how this is heading. Both people who've watched the previous 2, the Andy Gate preview show, welcome. Right, do you know the way to Oldham?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm from that neck of the woods, so I know it very well.
Right, good, we'll skip that bit. So what did we do when we played at Oldham?
Again, probably a forgettable day, 4-0, but it probably wasn't a 4-0 game, 2 goals in injury time against a very good team. And no, it's not really gone to plan for them, well, lately, but they're still in with a shout, so it's looking like it's going to be a really good game.
This has been a nightmare behind the scenes at Oxford City this week, because it's a big game for Oldham, no it's not, their Halifax game's on, it's off, not quite sure. It's been a nightmare, isn't it, trying to sort out the scale of this game, but actually has turned into a big game for them.
Yeah, it has been. I think on the flip side, you could say every game's going to be a big game. I think we always pinpoint Oldham as one of the biggest in the division, so we're really looking forward to welcoming all the fans down. But yeah, big game for them. You know, they're still in with every shout. I know they have to have results go their way elsewhere, and they can't quite control it, not in charge of their own destiny. But they're still well in it. But it's a big game for us as well. We want to win every single point if we can. I know it won't do anything for our league stature, but it's a big game for both teams.
I should have asked him when I was interviewing him. Do you think the manager will give other people a chance these last 3 games? I guess he hasn't got that luxury.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, there's that sort of weighing up thing. Do you chuck in some lads to see how they do, or do you stick with what they've got? Again, there's not really too much you can, to swap with, but we'll find out. I think based on previous weeks, I imagine he'll go pretty strong.
So, for the people who are interested, he's been hard at work. Season tickets soonish?
Yeah, they're coming out soon. We've got some really exciting news on that, actually. We're trying to make things a lot more streamlined, as easy as possible for our supporters to, one, get them, and 2, make their life easy for them to watch Oxford City. Their support's been absolutely fantastic this season.
Definitely,
I mean, home and away. So yeah, really exciting news about that coming out, well, as soon as we can, really.
And I'll build my bit up and do some talking, since it's mainly him, isn't it? We're doing Player of the Season voting. It's available right now for the men's and women's players of the season. And then the dinner and awards evening will be on the 26th, which will be good. Last thing, I just wanted to point out that Mr. Gate, the man to my right in the hot seat, what are you doing on Sunday?
I'm running the Manchester Marathon on Sunday, so yeah, pretty stupid.
This is why there won't be a preview show on Monday ahead of Tuesday's game, because I doubt very much. Well, you should get round, shouldn't you? You should be all right.
Yeah, I should get round. You know, people say I'm in shape, but it's just the wrong shape. So
many people are public spirited and run it for charities and raise money for good causes. What about you, Andrew?
I'm doing it just because I can. Yeah. So, but I tell you what, someone who is doing it for charity, who is at Oxford City, not the Manchester Marathon, but the week after, Connor Walton, the manager of our women's first team, he is running the London Marathon, the big one, if you like.
The one you didn't get into? The
one I didn't get into, yeah, for a fantastic charity.
Very sorry. Good luck for Sunday. If you see him on Saturday, come down the Raw Charging Stadium, have a beer, watch a game of football against Oldham. Wish him luck doing the marathon. We'll see you Saturday.